Hi, welcome to my OS and software hardening video. I am some guy who likes to share and teach. Now I have 10 minutes to share with you some how-tos of software and OS hardening. Now the first thing you need to do if you're a system administrator is establish a security baseline. Set up some templates. A basic template will have the absolute minimum security in it. Now to get this template made up, you're going to have to compile history of past vulnerabilities. Make a list, gather information, read white papers, and investigate what others are doing. Talk to other system administrators. See what the standards are, industry standards. Look to organizations that help system administrators. Every network is different, so make sure you look to standards that will fit your specific setup. Once you have this template, this basic minimum baseline, then apply the template. When setting up a new workstation, for example, desktop administrators, system administrators, make sure that the security template gets applied to every new desktop. Different roles get different templates. People from accounting, for example, or HR will get a different security template from those people in engineering. Now, if you take anything away from this video, it's going to be this. Make sure all your software is updated with the latest patches. That's it. That's the one thing. That's the best way to make sure that you're up to date with the latest security updates. The updates, as most of us know, are available on the vendor's website. Okay, hackers have auctions where they buy and sell zero-day exploits. Now we know if you work at a company with 700 workstations that it could be a logistical nightmare to keep all these workstations updated. However, let software do the work for you. Use automatic updates. Now, many of us have been in a situation where Microsoft releases an update, we go ahead and apply it as we should, but afterwards, software doesn't work, critical software. Well, it's important to have a backout plan, uninstall an update, and ideally we should have a lab server so we can test updates before we roll them out. We all know that software, when it initially comes out, it's not ready. It's rushed out and it's buggy right from the go. As soon as you get the software, go and install it. Go to the website and see if there are any updates. Basically, is what you got to do. Now, when it comes to services, especially if you're setting up a new server, only run the services that you need. If you don't need file and print sharing, for example, don't enable it. It's probably enabled by default, so you're going to have to go in there and disable it. Do an audit. Check out the server, what services are running. Disable any and all services that are not needed. Ask yourself this: do you even need HTTP on this database server? There are inherent vulnerabilities with running a web server. Does FTP need to be enabled? Maybe not. FTP, of course, sends authentication information in clear text. Now, if SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, if that service is enabled and you don't need it, well, hacker can use your box to send malicious code, send spam. So disable it if you don't need it. Another service may be DHCP. DHCP is great, so you don't have to manually keep track of IP addresses, 700 workstations. But if it's not secured, not locked down, it'll basically give an IP address to just anybody. One way to prevent this is to use MAC address. In other words, feed the MAC address of every computer to the DHCP. This way, you know what's on your network. You know what's getting an IP address. Now, web server service. Web servers get attacked more often than any other server other than email servers. So I've heard. The most common attacks against a web server is a malform request, which is basically a bad sequence of information being sent to the server trying to crash it. This can be prevented by updating the web server software. The next one is buffer overflow. Hackers try to create a buffer overflow. And basically what that is out of bounds information is sent to the server. Something it's not expecting, causing it to hang, crash, and as a result, privilege escalation can happen. Another attack toward web servers are worms. Now, once a worm has infected a web server, clients who connect can be infected. DOS attack. Many times a web server is very well secured and a hacker can't get in. So what he'll do is say, well, if I can't get in, nobody gets in. So he will do a denial of service attack where the server cannot request legitimate attempts to view information or access the server. Email services, email server. Make sure that the relays are secured by, not really going to go into how to secure a mail relay, but if you have a service running, then hackers can use your relay. Now, if you're running a file server, run good partition schemas like NTFS or ext3 for Linux. Much more powerful than FAT, much more manageable, and recovers from errors. If you're dealing with software, if you're dealing with files that are very, very sensitive, then why not use encryption between the client on the LAN and the server? Database servers. We all know database servers can come under attack of SQL injection attacks. It's like a buffer overflow, and as a result, privilege escalation can occur. Many legitimate records can be destroyed. One way to prevent, of course, repeating the mantra, keep your software up to date, and validate input. Now, going back to DHCP, something else you can do to protect yourself is set up a pool of IP addresses. Set up a range. This will help you more easily pinpoint a rogue PC connected to your network. Now, I didn't write this down here, but when we're talking about, let me go ahead and type it in here. Directory services, like Active Directory. Okay, use encryption. Use SSL, TLS on your Active Directory files. Okay, I was recording while I was typing all that, didn't realize that, but basically what we talked about in this video is updating all servers and workstations, turn off unneeded services. Microsoft used to turn on everything when you install the server. Now their approach is slightly different. They basically turning everything off, and you have to go and manually turn everything on. I think it was a marketing gimmick before, but now much more emphasis is being placed on security. Well, that's my video. I hope it was informative. Have a great one.